But in all seriousness, it's my honor to introduce Danny to you because he's a kid worth knowing. Being the middle child, he doesn't always get that recognition that he deserves, but he deserves it. He's the most polite student I've ever met. He always greets you with a smile or a hug and a handshake, and he says your name and looks you in the eye. And that's what impresses me most about him. You learn a lot about a person by how they address you when they see you in passing. And every time Danny sees you, to every teacher, he addresses them in this way. Something else that impresses me about Danny is how hard he had to work in the beginning of his educational career to get where he is today, as English was not his first language when he started school, and it's still not the primary language of his parents. And so on that note, I'm going to ask you to forgive me for a minute as I address Danny and his family in Spanish. I apologize to those who do not speak Spanish and may not know what I'm saying. I also apologize to those of you that do know Spanish because I'm a white girl who speaks Spanish, like a gringa. Pero bueno, a la familia Rosa Vega, ustedes saben cuánto los quiero. Quiero darle mis felicidades y dile a ustedes que esta recognición de su hijo no es solamente a causa de él, pero ustedes también. Claro, es porque Danny es fantástico y inteligente y se esfuerza mucho, pero igualmente es a causa de su apoyo, su dedicación y su amor por él. Yo sé que todo no era simple y fácil por ustedes sobre los años. Yo sé que a veces tuvieron tiempos difíciles y duros, pero en cada instancia su familia sube y tuvieron éxito porque ustedes ponen su familia y sus hijos primero. Porque su amor y apoyo nunca fallar. Tienes un hijo aquí, enfrente de todos, y él es parte de los mejores en su clase. Ustedes necesitan reconocer que es porque él vio en ustedes trabajadores, personas de dedicación, determinación y sacrificios. Ustedes darle todo por él y ahora él tiene su premio y es para todo que ustedes para celebrar. Felicitaciones y muchas gracias para permitirme ser parte de su gran niña.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that is attending today during this special moment, for all the top 20 students, as well as their parents. So Princeton High School has been a wonderful experience for me with different challenges. Every day, the diversity of our school and the dedication of the Princeton staff has really made Princeton the place I like to call my second home. The best experience I've had has been in the school and out of the Princeton walls. Being part of the Princeton soccer team has really showed me how several individuals working together can accomplish the impossible when it was easier to quit. I love my time here at Princeton, and I wouldn't switch Princeton for any other school. I'd like to give a special thanks to Ms. McCormick for always guiding me from elementary to now a graduating senior. And most importantly, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity to be among the top 20 of my graduating class. Now, without my parents' guidance and them working relentlessly to give me what they never had, I would like to return them the favor they did for me. And I'd like to give a special thanks to my brother, sister-in-law, as well as my girlfriend for supporting me and believing in me. I try my best to do and go forward and not let them down. After having several interests in the West Coast and universities, I've chosen to stay closer to home and attend the University of Cincinnati.
Representing the University of Cincinnati, Sheriff Mayor Kevin Hardin. Ladies and gentlemen.
Pretty impressive show, don't you think? Absolutely. We're going to close with a slideshow. set up.